guys! Welcome back to our channel.
Or welcome if you're new here. In today's video, we are battling out some products. We are doing a dupe video. So we've already got the makeup on our face, as you can
tell the difference?
Yeah. Before you continue watching, pause that video and go to the comments down below and comment which side you think is drugstore and which you think is high end. I'm curious to know if you think, you know, the high end is the drugstore.
To see exactly what products we used, exactly which products we feel like are real dupes,
yes,
and which ones really didn't make the cut, just keep watching.
First, we're going to be testing out the Maybelline Professional and the Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser, and she's going to be testing out the NYX Pore Filler.
To keep it less confusing, we're both going to do high end on our left and drugstore on our right. So we're going to see how this, we're going to do a full face of makeup. I think that the NYX and the Benefit felt pretty close to the same. They both feel really creamy, really moisturizing. I like the way they feel.
The Professional has more of a powdery finish versus the Baby Skin has a more silicone-based finish. So I'm not sure about the how it's filled in my pores yet. I won't know that until I put foundation on, but so far they're not quite the same.
Okay, so next we're going in with foundation. I am putting my Hourglass Vanish to the test with Maybelline Fit Me, and we're going to see how these work.
And I'm going in with the Fenty Beauty and the Maybelline Dream Velvet Soft Matte Hydrating Foundation. I already think that these side by side, this is more light. This is like definitely my shade. I'm thinking this is going to be darker. We're not testing the shades, we're testing the formula. So if one side ends up a little darker, don't pay that any attention.
The Hourglass has always been my favorite. It's got full coverage, covers everything. It goes on dreamy. The Fit Me is really creamy, but I did double. I'm doing double on this. You can build it up, but it feels a little bit more sticky, and the Hourglass has already kind of set. So I like the Hourglass still a lot better. I mean, in a pinch, if I could not afford to go get my Hourglass, I would go ahead and pick up the Fit Me.
The Fenty has a pretty matte finish, and the Maybelline has a matte finish as well. It's not as matte as Fenty, but I'd say that the coverage is about the same. I mean, obviously the shade is definitely not the same, but I knew that going in. So other than that, I'd say it's a dupe.
So for concealer, I am putting the Tarte Shape Tape to the test with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer.
And I'm doing the Milani Retouch and Erase Light Lifting Concealer versus Tarte Shape Tape.
The Tarte Shape Tape is definitely more coverage. The Wet n Wild, not nearly the same coverage. I love the fact that the Shape Tape comes in much lighter shades, and the Wet n Wild, this is the lightest shade and it's too dark. So I wouldn't say these are necessarily a dupe.
Alright, the Tarte Shape Tape, much more full coverage, and the Milani, I can still see my dark circles, so that is not a dupe.
Okay, so next we're going in with powder. The high end is the Laura Mercier, and we are going to compare it to the NYX
and the Coty Airspun.
Okay.
Which this is like one of my all-time favorite powders. So, and I mean, I've actually never tried the Laura Mercier. We bought it for this video to see if we can dupe it.
Feeling of these, they both feel really similar. They both went on, you know, very soft. So I'm gonna say that's a pretty good dupe there.
Mine seemed to go on pretty well the same. I did a little bit of baking, and it seems to look about the same. I mean, for like $5 versus like however much that was.
Right.
I'd say it's a dupe. Next up, we are going to be duping the Hoola bronzer. This is like an all-time favorite in the beauty world. And this was actually, I already had this, so if I can find a dupe for it, then that'll be great. And this is the NYC City Proof up to 10 hour bronzing face powder. And this is in the shade 720 Sunny. So we will see if this is a dupe. I'm gonna go ahead and say this is a dupe.
Yes.
This is like the same exact product.
They both
It kind
went...
of depends on how you use it. I feel like I went a little heavier handed on this one. And that's not the product's fault, but you can go light-handed, you can go heavy-handed. I mean,
They were both super pigmented.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, whenever I started off with the drugstore, I would put it on and it was like, whoa, that's got a lot of color.
Yeah.
So I think they're a dupe too.
Yeah.
They went on the same, they look the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got a dupe here.
And I think this is like $2.99, although I had to buy it from Amazon because I couldn't find it anywhere else, so it's a bit more expensive on there. But if you can find it, I think they have it at like Dollar General, Walmart. We couldn't find it here.
At any of our stores.
Yeah.
So next we are checking out blushes. We've got the NARS in the shade Orgasm, and we've got the Milani in the shade Blossom Top Rose. So we're going to be checking these out. I'm going to say this is not quite a dupe. It's close. The NARS is definitely more pigmented. I had to go in several times with the Milani. But the colors are really similar. One's a little bit more pinky, one's a little bit more peachy. They're not quite a dupe, but close.
I'm going to say that I actually preferred the Milani, whereas she preferred the NARS. I'm more of a corally, peachy type of blush person anyway, and this is kind of what that is. And I like a lighter blush, she likes a darker blush, so I guess that might be why. But to me, I feel like the Milani blended out nicer than the NARS, and I mean, maybe that was my fault, but I prefer the Milani.
And I prefer the NARS, so it worked out really, really good. So for highlighter, we are both going to try to find a dupe for the Laura Geller Gilded Honey. I am testing out the Maybelline Master Chrome. This is in the shade Molten Gold.
And I'm testing out the Maybelline. This is actually a single eyeshadow. So these are really kind of inexpensive, and this is in the shade The Glow Down.
I tried to do pretty much the same with both. And so I've got a little bit more highlight on the high end with the Laura Geller than what I have on with the Maybelline. So they're close, but I mean, the Laura Geller definitely stands out a lot better.
I'm going to say that the Maybelline single eyeshadow is a dupe. I mean, it's like the same amount of pigment and everything. I again tried to do about the same amount. I actually did have to go in more with the Laura Geller than the Maybelline. So, with that being said, save your money. The Laura Geller is not worth it if you can get this Maybelline single eyeshadow. Next, we are testing the Benefit Gimme Brow versus the Essence Make Me Brow
and the Maybelline Brow Precise Fiber Volumizer. I'm gonna say that the Maybelline didn't really fill in my brows as well as what I like them to. So even though the shades are a little bit different, we're just looking at the product itself, and it's a little bit more patchy.
I say that Essence is a dupe. The shades are a little off because they're not quite the same shade. I mean, I think they both probably work for me, but as for the product itself, I say it's a dupe. Next, we're testing out the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette versus the Morphe palette. This is the Morphe 350 palette. So I already know that there's like so many more shades in the Morphe palette, so surely there's gonna be a dupe for like each shade. I'm gonna go ahead and say this is not a dupe. I do think the Morphe palette is like worth the money. I can't say the same for the Naked Heat palette. I mean, this is like $23 and it has what?
Like 35 shades.
Yeah, this has so many shades to choose from. I mean, you're definitely going to be able to create a look with this. Like, there's light shades and dark shades. Like, there's so many shades.
Yeah, and there's 12 of this. I mean, I like this.
Yeah.
But for the money, I definitely think that the Morphe palette is probably the better deal. I don't think I mean, we really had to search for similar colors.
Yeah. And in the end, I went like completely different. This is like the lightest shimmer shade in the palette, and it's not even shimmery.
Yeah.
And this is more of what I would have liked, and this is from the Morphe. So I like this better.
Yeah, I think I do too. So.
Alright, next up we are testing the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray, and I have the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Natural Finish Setting Spray.
And I have the L'Oreal Infallible Setting Spray. I guess with setting sprays, we'll have to kind of wear this throughout the day and see if maybe the drugstore side, you know, doesn't last as long. So if there's a big difference, we'll leave that in the comments below so that you'll know. As far as going on, they felt similar. I mean, they feel similar now.
Yeah, I agree with that. Alright, so we're each going to be testing two completely different mascaras. I've got the Benefit Roller Lash versus the Maybelline Lash Sensational.
And I have the Too Faced Better Than Sex compared to the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise. These are pretty similar. The shape of the wand is hourglass shape, but I have to say that the formula on the Too Faced is a little bit drier, so it takes a little bit more to put on. So I actually prefer the L'Oreal.
The Roller Lash and the Lash Sensational. The Roller Lash is actually, again, it's drier. It's a drier formula. So to me, a drier formula I prefer, but at the same time, the only thing is, I mean, it doesn't dry as quickly, so like it leaves a little more time for it to get places. So I did have a little bit of trouble like down here with mascara getting on my under eye, but I mean, other than that, I mean they're kind of a dupe. I mean, I wouldn't rule it out. I like the Lash Sensational.
Right.
So I think if you like this, but you don't mind it being a little bit of a more wet formula, then pick this up because I mean it's a lot more inexpensive.
A lot cheaper. For lipstick, I am going to try out the Tartist lip paint versus the Maybelline Vivid Matte Liquid. This is more for the formula than the color. I tried to match it as closely as I could, but the dupes are supposed to be in the formula.
And I'm going to try the MAC. This is in the shade Velvet Teddy versus the Wet n Wild Bear It All. I'm going to go ahead and call this a dupe. And this is like, I mean, it's Wet n Wild, so this is like really, really, really cheap. I mean, they're both matte, so yeah, the shades, I don't know if you can tell, but they're like the same color. I mean, I don't really see much of it. Do you see a difference?
Not really. Maybe a very, very slight. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty well a dupe in color.
Yeah, I think that, yeah, they both feel the same on the lips, so this is a dupe.
Okay, so mine, of course, the color is not exact. I ordered one online and got one in the store. I got the one in the store first and then ordered the one online. So anyway, it's not a dupe in the color, but it feels the same. They're creamy, they're comfortable, they're moisturizing. They feel absolutely wonderful, and as far as the formula, they are a dupe.
Alright guys, this is the finished look with all the dupes. I have to say, I am pretty impressed. I'm impressed with the primer, the foundation, the powders, not so much the concealer.
Right.
The blush was okay. The bronzer was
spot on.
Great. Oh my gosh. I liked my eyebrows. She didn't like hers. I mean, the highlight, mine was great. I'm impressed with that. The mascaras were okay. The lips. Oh my gosh. I literally can't even tell that I'm wearing like 2 different lips right now, 2 different lipsticks. But I mean, overall, this is a win.
Yeah, like, this is a win.
I'm pretty impressed. I was a little skeptical as to how many were actually gonna be dupes.
But yeah. So that just goes to show that, I mean, you can really look good on a budget. You don't have to spend the high dollars. I mean, you know, it's nice to have some of the products that are high dollars just because, I mean, it does make you feel good, but you can do things, you can look pretty on a drugstore budget, definitely. Right. So anyway, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. It would mean the world to us. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that you are notified each and every time we upload a new video.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We are at Glam and Glamour.
Until the next video.
Bye.